Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to look at the new Michelin Pilot tire. No, this isn't made to go on a sport bike. This is made for your 26-inch fun machine, the Michelin Pilot Pump. One of two new offerings that they have for dirt jumper and slopestyle bikes. They have the pump here, which is the nice and smooth tread, optimized for pump tracks, skate parks, super hard packed dirt. You kind of get where I'm going there. And the other one is their Pilot Slope, which actually has some small knobs on it that's made for rougher terrain and out in the woods. Let's get this out of the package, and we're going to throw it on the scale, see what it weighs. Alright, before I get it on the scale, now that I have it out of the package, you can see that even though it's not made for a sport bike, definitely had some of the styling cues and technology applied to it. It definitely looks like a sport bike tire. Especially with some of those new little 200s and 300s out there. This might actually be bigger. This is only offered in a 26 by 2.3. There is the sidewall graphics on there, which you either are going to like or you're going to hate because it is a big blue tab. Depends how particular you are with the color of your bike. Extremely flexible, very thin carcass to it. So for you guys that run skate park, if you're doing grinds or slides, probably not what this one's going to hold up to, especially because it is meant to be a race style tire. It does have a fair amount of release agent on it from the manufacturing process, so we're probably going to want to wipe that down before we actually try to go ride. Alright, onto the scale. Now, I know my scale may be a little different than some other people's on the exact weight that it comes up with. It is just a Berkeley fish scale. Fish stories, people tend to lie. So before I weigh the Pilot Pump, I'm going to throw some of the common 26-inch dirt jump and slope style tires on, just so we can get a range of exactly where these tires are at and how this one stacks up. First up is the tire that's coming off the bike. I've had it set up for outdoor use, so I have the Kenda Small Block 8. This is the Pro, so this is also the flexible folding sidewall. Alright, we are sitting right at 700 kilograms. Not too bad. Alright, next, one of the favorites over time. This is the V-Tire Micro Knobby 3, MK3, Mark 3, whatever you want to call it. 26 by 2.5. Always a favorite tread design. Makes a cool sound. That one is coming in at 720 grams. And probably the current king of smooth style dirt jump slope tires, the Maxxis DTH 26 by 2.3 folding carcass. If you're running 2.15s, obviously it's going to be lighter than this. And this one is probably about 2 years old, so it actually has some rubber missing, so brand new. These might be a little heavier. I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make. Showing up at 650 grams, so far the lightest of the group. Alright, here we go. Michelin Pilot Pump, 26 by 2.3, 670 grams. So probably the exact same weight of the Maxxis DTH when it was brand new. So there's a good comparison of the weight of this tire, and you can stack that up based on what you have. If you have some OEM tires on your bike that have the steel beads, these are going to be significantly lighter because those just add a good bit of weight right there. Alright, let's mount this up. Alright, we're all mounted up on the rim here. You can see very nice rounded profile. It says that these are made to run between 29 and 58 psi. I have seen on a few other wholesalers' website that these were marked as being tubeless compatible. Nowhere on Michelin's site does it say that, and even on the tire and the website it says to use their C4 tube. I'm just going to use a regular tube, but keep that in mind when making your purchase. If you see it listed on one of the internet sites, if they have it listed as tubeless compatible, Michelin does not make that claim. It's pretty much a mistake. Being that it's so rounded, It will be interesting once I start riding, because obviously with this smooth tread pattern, we're going to have very low resistance. To see what the ideal pressure would be to get a nice big fat contact patch that's not going to lose grip at all. It's going to kind of be like on the sport bike days, we're going to see how far it can lean over, see if there's any chicken lines left. I think there's going to be, because there is a lot of tread wrap. It goes pretty far over the side. I don't think I'm going to be leaning a 26-inch bike over that far. All right, if we bust out the calipers, these are mounted on a Spank Spoon 32 rim, which is a pretty common rim out there. I believe the internal width on these are 27 millimeters, so you can use that to judge how these will be on your bike. And they're coming in right at about 60 millimeters. So that's a pretty good indication of where they're at with your, how wide it is in your bike. Somebody in one of the other pages did ask about the circumference, so they could figure out if, figure out the radius, if it'll fit on their bike, because they have a pretty tight chainstay and tolerance. So I'm going to grab a tape measure. We'll measure that. Let's see what it is. All right, I've got the wheel mounted. I've got a nice paper IKEA tape measure. Nothing but the most scientific tools to figure out these specs. All right, we're going to start right here at the valve stem, go all the way around. I'm going to speed this up. Let's get through this part. Okay, the full circumference measured with a tape measure at the very center point comes to 2,145 millimeters. We find out the diameter is 683.12 millimeters, which means the radius is 341.5. Yes, I have those written down off screen. I'm not going to remember those numbers. So radius, 341.5. If you're not good at math and you don't know how to do the conversion, that works out to 13.44 inches. So use that measurement to figure out if it's going to fit in your frame. 13.4 radius, about 60 millimeters at its widest part. I'm going to get the other one changed, and we're going to get outside and do some basic riding on this. Don't expect some crazy shred it to happen with a big ride montage. I know most of you watching this probably can ride better, much better than I can, so we're just going to put it through some general use just to get a feel for it, because either a tire like this is going to grip or it's not. It's that wonderful time of the year again where it's 3:30 and I'm already starting to run out of sunlight. So I just came to a big parking lot. We're going to scrub the tires around a bit, see how they do here. Then we'll run them over to the pump track, maybe some of the small dirt jumps, just to see how they do. Let's see how much we can get done in 1 hour. Alright, so initial impression, I got 55 PSI in them. They're pretty hard right now. And on just flat pavement, scrubbing them around, trying to get the top layer worn in a little bit, they show no signs of trying to slip at all. They have a nice, awesome, like hollow rolling sound to them because there's no tread. It's just this like, almost like this nice even tone coming from them. Now that we got them scrubbed in, and I have no qualms about these tires, if they're going to grip and what they're made for, we're going to go hit a little pump track over here, see how it does there, then even take them to the dirt, and then maybe we'll see where they don't do well at. Let's find out. All right, just pulled up to the North Park pump track. As you can see, pretty busy out here today. We got the brand new tires on from Michelin. We're going to give them a test, see how they do on a pump track. That's what they're made for. Okay, we know the tires can grip on pavement, they can grip on a pump track. How do you think they can do in a field of leaves? We all pretty much know where this is going. This one's just for fun. We're over at the North Park Skills Park now, over at the jumps. It's a little too busy here today for me to put the camera up wherever I want to. So I'm just going to take a few laps, see how they feel. I'm not going to get any footage, and we'll be back to tell you how it does. All right. The Michelin Pilot Pump. Running out of daylight, pretty crowded. We're going to call the video for now. On the pavement and the pump track, I had it at 55 PSI, and it felt great. This tire rolls fast as hell. Pretty cool noise it makes. The rubber is grippy as hell. If you're worried about it gripping, think about rock climbing shoes. They are completely smooth, and even a relatively smooth rock, they grip like hell. That's what these are designed for. They're made for the pavement. When I moved over to the little skills park here and rode some of the jumps, which are hard pack, the dirt is pretty hard there, a little dusty. I did lower the tire pressure down to 40 PSI. And once I did that, it felt a lot better on the dirt. Still didn't even slide out on me. I wasn't trying any tricks, wasn't trying any whips or anything, so I didn't really land sideways. But hitting the dirt berms at the end of the jumps and just cruising around, they felt great. So take the information I gave you, make the decision for yourself. I think if anyone's going to be racing 26-inch tires on any kind of prepped or hard coat surface or whatever, they're going to be on these. New contender for the smooth tire dirt jump choice. Thanks for joining me. Maybe we'll get the ride together. We'll see you next time.